Gotta make sure I have it muted. So we're not
Receiving
going
content.
echo, echo, echo. Okay, it's muted.
You are live. The internet can totally see you now.
No!
Ah! Don't look, I'm naked. Alright. Oh, you know what I do want to do is I want to post on Facebook. This is going to kill the stream for a second. Facebook is a bandwidth hog.
Good to know.
Surprise, surprise.
Hi, Abby. What are you doing?
And I guess
Yeah.
it's not even a bandwidth hog, it's a CPU usage hog.
Yeah, well, spying on you takes a lot of
Yeah.
processing power.
Come on, let me write. Are going live with episode 160. Publish. Okay. That is up. That is gone. Now that should help. CPU usage is gone. We're good now. Alright. You ready to rock and roll?
Let's do it.
Alright, here we go. We're going to start in 3, 2, 1. Welcome everybody to Geekvice, episode 160, proving any vice with enough geek can become a virtue. My name's Morph, that man's Kip. Good evening, Kip.
Good evening.
How are you doing this week? Recovered from your illness, I presume?
Yeah, for the most part. It's congestion is hanging in there for all it's worth, but at least I'm not running a fever anymore.
That is always a plus. Running fevers suck. So,
Especially when you're traveling.
yeah, that's really not good for anybody. Especially, it's really not good for the guy you're traveling with.
Yeah.
So, a couple of housekeeping stuff first. Everyone should be proud of me and my video gaming skills. That we now have. I have figured out how to be able to record some old school games. So I've got some games that are super old, like mid early to mid 90s, I believe, is when these games came out. So we're looking at things like Dungeon Siege. I've got the first one. I got the first one, the second one, and the third one. Third one's really not that good, but I've played through the others. Um, I've got Commandos, and I've got all four of those, I believe. There's Behind Enemy Lines, Beyond the Call of Duty, and I think then there's just Commandos 3 and Commandos 4, maybe. But Nazi Germany types, live action stealth games. I like those. Um, we all know how much I love stealth games. So that's
Absolutely.
we've got those. I've got games like XCOM 2 sitting there that I've played a little bit of that we can record too. That's not old, that's new. We got stuff like Pillars of Eternity. That's fairly recent. I got lots of games on there that I want to put on our Geekvice gaming site. We're going to do some recording of those. And Kip and I have even talked about possibly doing a joint recording of us playing Rocket League if we can figure out the logistics and have that going. So that could be kind of fun. Little
Yeah, if
Rocket
you
League
want to watch
action.
two guys play a sports game poorly,
Yeah. A
yes.
and Rocket League. I love the fact that we still call Rocket League a sports game when you're driving around. It's like soccer with monster trucks. I mean, I, I don't know. This is pretty cool. I'm waiting for them to do this at the next Monster Jam at like Sprint Center.
They probably already do, as far as we know.
I haven't seen it. I've been to Monster Jam the last couple of years because my boys love some monster trucks, and we used to have connections to get us into those things because they never sell out. So they practically give tickets away to go to that thing. So and I haven't seen it, but I wouldn't be surprised if that's coming in the near future. It would be a great idea.
It'd be a lot of fun.
So if Monster Jam is listening to us, that's our idea. We deserve some royalties for that.
Something, yeah.
Or maybe just you can have some advertisement on our show, like pay us to advertise. That would be cool.
Or let me drive one of your trucks. That would be good.
Yeah, how awesome would that be? So the whole point of this was Geekvice Gaming. I've got a poll up there on Straw Poll. You can find it in the description for this. It's also on our Facebook page. So, and we'll make sure it gets into the description for the podcast. Go click on that link. Go vote. I've only got 4 of them up there. If none of those work for you, post on Facebook what ones you want us to do. You can actually post directly onto our site or comment on any of these videos, whether it's on YouTube or Facebook or whatever. Or, hell, iTunes, wherever you want to comment. We'll get notification that they're there. We'll go take a look at them, and we'll put those games on our list. The biggest votes are going to get the next game. And I'm looking to actually, since the Civ 6 game is still going on, that'll be on Thursdays, and I'm looking at putting a second show up on Tuesdays. So we'll see how it goes. I got to get some votes in. I got to start recording some shows, and then it'll go up there. So just
Plus,
gauges.
it doesn't excuse people to play video games. That way he can tell his wife, hey, it's what the fans wanted.
Yeah, exactly. If you guys, if I get enough votes in there, enough ideas, I could just like play video games all the time. Like, sorry, honey, I can't go to bed yet. I need to stay up till 3 a.m. playing a video game so all of you guys can watch me play. And I suck at every game that I play, so it should be entertaining for you. Or
Why should
infuriating.
us be good at games?
Do what?
So why should, any of you or I be good at games? Because apparently neither one of us are.
No. I suck at everything I do. Everyone should know that. I mean, they listen to this podcast, for God's sakes. Self-deprecating humor, the best kind there. So, anyway, go vote on the straw poll. Let us know what you think. Comment on this video. Comment on our iTunes. Comment on our Facebook page. Wherever you want to put it there. Let us know what you think. So, and we also have a possible review for Assassin's Creed written by a good friend of the show. We're in the process of talking to him on whether or not he will allow us to put that review up on our blog and Facebook page and whatnot. So stay tuned for that. And maybe if you guys like that, or hell, if he wants to do it, maybe we'll get some more reviews for him because I really like that review of Assassin's Creed. It made me not want to go watch the movie, so I'm still gonna go see it eventually. But yeah, not a glowing review. Let's put it that way. Mr. Kip here decided he was going to find a new show to watch, and that didn't go over so well for him. So let's hear about this.
Well, so we're always on the lookout, mostly for British shows on Netflix, and we found one, and we watched the first episode. It was like, oh, this is pretty awesome. So I went to IMDb, and I didn't pay close enough attention, but all I was looking for to see how many episodes, how many seasons there were, and there were 6 seasons. And I'm like, yes, we have some serious TV watching in front of us with a show that we really love. And so we settled in, I don't know, last weekend. So it took us 7 days to get through 16 episodes. And basically, I'm just going to go ahead and spoil the whole goddamn thing. So here you go. The show is called Death in Paradise. And it's about At least this is what I thought it was about. About Detective Inspector Richard Poole being sent to a Caribbean island to work, to be their chief inspector. All he wants to do is go back to London. For some reason, this guy loves the cold, cloudy weather. He hates the sunshine, the heat. He still walks around the beach in a full suit. You know, he's the very epitome of the stuffy British,
Right.
uh, I guess, man in charge. Set in his ways. He always wants tea instead of a nice cold beverage, you know, even though it's the Caribbean.
Right.
So basically, for lack of a better way to put it, he's a fish out of water. But the show worked. He was great being the fish out of water. They had the detective sergeant, this French girl. The whole time you're thinking this is going to be a will they, won't they situation. And then two other police officers, Fidel and Dwayne. Love them; they're great. And
Fidel and Dwayne.
yeah,
Those
and
are
they
some awesome,
then
awesome names. Fidel. I like it.
Fidel's this young up and comer, newly married kid on the way, kind of wide eyed innocence about him. Dwayne is kind of this, I'll say older, maybe 35 to 40. A little bit of a ladies' man. Doesn't really care to get ahead. He's more of the laid back island guy. So the dynamic between all four of them just worked. And, you know, I'm thinking this show is about D.I. Poole. Not a problem. It works. So 2 seasons went by, and they're solving mysteries, you know, and the characters are growing, and you're like, this is great. And then we decided, well, let's watch season 3. So season 3, episode 1 starts, and they murdered D.I. Poole.
No.
And we're like, what the hell just happened? This has got to be a dream sequence or something. This can't be right. This is what the whole show is about. So, of course, I immediately go to IMDb because, you know, that's where my brain is. And sure enough, the guy who plays D.I. Poole is only in 17 episodes.
Jeez.
Out of 40, I think it's 46 episodes or something like that. And it's like, holy cow, I cannot believe they're swapping out the main character of a show. It to me, it equates to, if anybody's watched Castle, Nathan Fillion plays Richard Castle, who is an author that has all these connections, and he works his connections to being a consultant for the detectives. I think they're in New York. Pretty sure it's New York.
Yeah.
So these detectives are stuck with him, and he helps them solve mysteries. And it would be like killing him off and having a show called Castle where they just went and grabbed another author and said, okay, now you're the pain in the ass protagonist. Yeah. That's what they did. They killed off the guy we thought the whole show was about. Of course, we watched the episode because it was honestly like losing a friend, and so we had to see why he died and who killed him. And we haven't, since they figured it out and we have closure, we haven't watched the show. So I guess it's kudos to the show for making us, and to the actor who plays D.I. Poole. I guess it's a credit to all that we cared enough that when he died, it really kind of ruined it for us. I mean, we had a real reaction to this guy being murdered. It's like, no way, this can't be right. And when it was all over with and they solved the mystery, I said, well, do you want to watch another one? The wife's like, no, I'm too devastated. That was the reaction we had. So my question is, why? Why would you... Did he want to go on to do something else? I looked at his IMDb profile, and it's not like he went on to do movies or whatever. He just went on to another TV show. So it wasn't like he went to greener pastures. And, maybe it's just a British thing. Maybe they're just, they kind of, I guess, come off on these TV shows as cold fish anyway. Maybe
Right.
they figured, yeah, it's just another murder we had to solve. And we'll replace him with this guy that was in Love Actually. And, like, I bet he's good because there's 6 seasons and he starts in first episode of season 3, so he's there a while, but it's not the same. It
Yeah.
really, it really was upsetting to us. It's kind of sad that we had this reaction to a TV show, but it's also a credit to the TV show.
Yeah.
3 of the 4 characters that we really like are still there. They're still the fish out of water British guy. It's just not the same guy. But the guy that we grew to love on that show is dead. And I watched that whole episode going, we'll never see that guy again. It was like a real death. It was, I hate to kind of embarrass myself like that, but that's honestly what happened. I'm just sitting there the whole time going, we're never going to see him again. He's gone.
Well, and yeah, like you said, it's kind of a testament to the writers, to the director, to the actor himself to get you that invested into that character because how many times have you watched a show and you're just like, yeah, I like that guy, but like he's not really that guy. He's just an actor playing that guy, and so it doesn't really you don't get that same type of connection. When you had brought up this topic, it got me thinking, and so my wife and I have been watching NCIS, which is Naval Criminal Investigative Services. Um, it's a show. It stars Mark Harmon, and he has he's always had a team around him, or for a lot of the seasons. It's on its 13th or 14th season, 15th season, something like that. It's been going on for a long time, but actors come in, they join that show. That show becomes really popular, and supporting actors then get lead roles at other places. So then they get written out of the show, which happens a lot to any of your long-running TV shows. But there was times in there where the characters, a character's death really kind of hit us, but it was kind of more of that, you know, at the moment it was like big, meaningful. You're upset that they're gone, and then the next episode starts, and you're like, well, okay, they provide a little bit of closure. They provide a little bit of memory of that person, and then they move on.
Right.
And and it goes okay, but to have an impact on a show that just almost makes you like, I don't know that I can watch this anymore. Like, that's pretty big. And the fact that it's a main character like that, like the central character, I mean,
Yeah.
that's
Yeah, that's the thing. I thought it was a show about that character. I've watched other British shows. Like there's a show called Misfits, where basically these juvenile delinquents get caught in this weird storm and they end up with superpowers. So it's not your altruistic type of people. It's people with actually they're kind of screw ups. And
right.
it's kind of funny how they get themselves into trouble, then use the superpowers to get out, that kind of thing. And my favorite character, I think, made it through 11 episodes. And then they just replaced him. They kind of had a reshuffling of the cast. But at least the show wasn't about him. He was just my favorite character. And they replaced him, and I had to, you know, I could continue to watch because it's still the same show, just a couple of the people got swapped out.
Right.
But with Death in Paradise, it's now a different show. I
Yeah.
don't know. Maybe their thinking was the show isn't about Di Pool or about his team. Maybe it's about the island. So the
Right.
island's still there. Maybe they think that's the main character. I don't know. All I know is I don't know if I can finish watching the 6 seasons. It's sad because we were really getting into it. We're like, this show, I like it so much more than I thought I was going to, and then they just dropped the hammer on us. So I don't know. I'll be curious to see if we eventually just go back to it
Yeah.
and see if we like the new player.
Give it a shot and see.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
yeah.
He's not trying to be the same guy. This guy is more. Di Pool was more the straight lace by the book. Everything had to be perfect, and the new guy is writing notes on any scrap piece of paper he can find. He actually fell out a window on his first day on the job. I mean, so he's a little bit of a screw, but he's a very good detective.
Right.
So maybe that does work. Maybe after, you know, some mourning takes place. I don't know. But yeah, I'll be curious if we can actually go back and watch it because honestly, we were devastated to not to keep repeating myself, but that's actually the truth. We sat there going, "Holy crap! I can't believe that just happened."
Yeah, that's interesting. I It kind of makes me want to go watch this. Where did you find it at? Where
Oh,
was
it's on Netflix.
Netflix?
Yeah,
Okay.
Death in Paradise. It's great.
Yeah.
It well, it
At least for
was.
the first two seasons of it.
Yeah, for 16 episodes, it's fantastic. The 70, and that's the funny thing about it. It was first episode of season 3. It's not like they ended season 2 with his death,
Right. It's
and
not
then
like a
you're going into season 3 knowing there's going to be a change. They started season 3, and you're thinking, "All right, this is awesome." Wait a minute, he's the victim. What the hell's going on?
yeah. That's funny. That's well, not funny. That's sad. I don't know. That's
it's
odd.
it's kind of funny. Our reaction to me is the funniest part
Oh,
about it.
that's comical. And I mean, but but like I said, I mean that is a sign of a really good show, and like I kind of want to go check it out now because if it's that good, if you know that it's coming, maybe it's not as maybe it doesn't hit me as hard, but if the show's that good that it gets you that invested, that's saying something.
Yeah, and makes me want to look up his character or look up the guy who plays. His name is Ben something or other. Um, see what else he's in and maybe see if I can find those on Netflix because I thought he did such a great job, but it could just been you know, the perfect role for him at the time. Um, his
Yeah.
name's Ben Miller. I don't know. It's just kind of funny. It was just a heartbreaker. It honestly was.
Oh man.
I hate to say it that way, but it totally was.
Yeah.
Yeah, so he
Now you're
did
gonna
Death
have
in
to now.
Paradise.
Yeah, since you're not gonna watch that show, now you're gonna find a whole nother one to fill in your time with.
Yeah, so he ended in 2014, Death in Paradise, and he played the sheriff of Nottingham in a Doctor Who episode. Did a few movies, and then just like other shows, he did like one or two episodes. So it's not like he gave up that show to because he was too good for it or whatever. It's just they wrote it this way. It's like, okay, Ben, you're done.
Yeah.
We're bringing in the guy from Love Actually now. Um, so I don't know.
Yeah, that is interesting.
Yeah,
Interesting. Well, we might have maybe this next part will help you find a new show to go watch. Although some of these are just starting, some of them have been around. So how I'll kind of give some backstory to this a little bit. I talked about it a little bit last week, but I've been watching a lot of football. Football's been going on right now, so and to watch football, I got to watch live TV, which I don't normally watch. So I'm getting a lot of commercials. Football has a ton of commercials in it anyway. So I'm getting to see all these new shows that are like previews for these new shows and trailers for new shows coming up. And I've been just shocked with how many of them are almost either remakes of a movie or sequels to a movie. And so it got me thinking. It's like at first I thought this was just a fad that's going on right now, like a bunch of new, a bunch of movie sequels getting put on TV and things like, Minority Report was big last year. It started, and I'm pretty sure that thing got canceled. Limitless was another one. They came on. I really enjoyed the sequel the TV series for that, but that then got canceled. Fargo, I've heard, is really good. Ash vs. the Evil Dead is kind of like a sequel to that. Lethal Weapon, that's more of a reboot, but again, going from a movie franchise getting put on TV, and I thought this was crazy. Some of the trailers that I saw for new stuff coming up: Emerald City, a new take on the Wizard of Oz, which looks a lot darker, which I'm kind of curious about. Training Day, which doesn't look to be a sequel. It looks more a reboot of the Training Day movie with Denzel Washington, which I I don't know how that's really going to work out to make it really like Training Day. Maybe it's just taking the same name. I don't know. Um, but the one that I found when I was looking this stuff up that was the most interesting to me was Snatch. The movie Snatch is going to get made into a TV serial. Um, it will not be on. It's going to be on basically Sony's version of Netflix, Crackle, and it's supposed to come out in 2017. So that's this year. It's supposed to come out this year. There's no official date or a set date on when that's going to start. And I don't know. I don't have Crackle. It's not something I usually look things up on. So I don't know if Crackle's one like Netflix where it's just they drop all the episodes up there on the first day and let you binge watch it, or if it's a week to week type thing. You're gonna have to wait every week for the next episode. But I mean, Snatch does not really strike me as something that's going to do real well as a TV show, but it has enough storylines and threads to it that I mean, you could almost break it apart in so much. It'd make the TV show hard to watch. If you
Yeah.
didn't, if you missed an episode, you'd be completely lost because you'd have no idea what storyline could have been in it, or what happened within there. The movie's kind of even hard to watch if you don't pay attention through the whole thing. So I thought that was really odd, and it got me thinking. Like, hey, is this just a fad thing that's going on right now, or is this and like what other movies? What am I missing? Well, then I hit up Wikipedia and looked for television programs based on films, and I was shocked with the number of things here. And I guess I shouldn't have been shocked because once I got reading through some of this stuff, I'm like, oh yeah, oh yeah, that's there. Oh yeah, I know that. Things. There's a lot of animated stuff, which really shouldn't surprise anybody. But Ace Ventura had an animated spin-off. Jimmy Neutron, Aladdin, lots of like kids things there. But even Back to the Future had an animated series. Beetlejuice, Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure. Um, let's see, some of the Buffy the Vampire Slayer. That was a big one. I mean, that TV series was huge, and that was a spin-off of the movie. Um, let's see, oh, Fargo was another big one. That's more recent, and that Fargo series was really good. I haven't actually seen it yet, but I've heard it's really good.
I was gonna say, I love it. It's really good. I haven't seen it yet, but it's really good.
I, yeah, I have heard that it's really good. I mean, it's won some awards, so it can't be all that bad. Um, but so I was just kind of surprised. I was going through this thing and I was just like just shocked with the number of things that were there. I mean, and even some of them that kind of just threw out into my head was the Young Indiana Jones Chronicles. I mean, that was even out there. Yeah, kind of forgot about that. Um, but even some big franchises that went on to have multiple series off their movie was Stargate. You had Stargate SG-1, Stargate Atlantis, Stargate Universe, Stargate Infinity. Universe and Infinity both sucking really bad, so and getting canceled really quick. But SG-1 was really good. I liked that one. So it just got me thinking, like, is this really a good idea for TV series to do? Does this kind of help provide like a built-in fan base for it, or is it really kind of hurt? Does it kind of hurt them because they can't tell the same story? Because a lot of these that you're going and looking at, some of them were successful, like Stargate or even Fargo. Um, but then you have ones like Minority Report canceled, Limitless canceled. Um, some of these other ones didn't last very long. Uncle Buck, Tron Legacy was a terrible TV series that didn't make it
I
very
don't even
far.
remember that. That's sad.
Tron
That's
Legacy or
what
Uncle Buck? Yeah,
uh, Ron.
yeah. I mean, it's a lot of this stuff is just like, hmm. So, at what point do they realize that this is kind of a bad idea and stop doing it? I mean, obviously that hasn't hit them yet because they're still doing it, but
Well, to me it depends on what they did. Like, I really wasn't a big fan of the Lethal Weapon movies. I mean, they were okay. I actually liked the TV show quite a bit.
really,
Yeah. Damon Wayans is pretty awesome. The guy who plays Mel Gibson's character,
Riggs.
Riggs, thank you, man. If- this I'm blaming the head cold. I
There
really
you
am.
go. That's
But
fine.
you know, you kind of get it. Well, you don't kind of get a sense. They give you a reason why he's got a death wish. I don't really remember the movies giving you that much, other than Riggs was just crazy.
Yeah,
At
it
least
was
with the
almost like
TV.
PTSD in the movies.
Yeah, it was PTSD. This one, it's different. His wife and who was carrying his kid were killed, and he just pretty much has nothing left to live for.
Right.
That kind of thing. So he just takes risk, but he can't kill himself. So he's kind of puts himself in danger to
Which
help
is a
some.
lot, which is a lot like what the movies was. It's
Right.
like he in the movie there's a scene where he actually like puts the gun in his mouth and then can't pull the trigger and just but ends up doing crazy ass stuff like getting a getting a guy up on the roof and instead of talking him down he just jumps off with him.
Yeah, exactly. And there's mention of the gun going in, him putting the gun in his mouth, not being able to pull the trigger. He doesn't show it to you. He just
Right.
tells you that he does. Um, I don't know. I just felt like the show worked. So if you can come up with a good idea, write it well, act it well, I don't have a problem with it.
Well, and
Uh,
I guess I wonder, like with Lethal Weapon, though. I mean, if they're following that closely, they kind of have that close of a synergy with the movie. You you know how the movie ends. Do you feel? I guess with that, it kind of depends. Is there enough material in there to keep it going? It's like at some point, do you have to have the bad guys that are in the first Lethal Weapon movies show up in the TV show, and at that, then it's what I mean. Like you already know the story going into it. It's kind of hard. Like to me, I would think that would be harder as somebody writing it to be able to go, oh, okay. yeah, we've got to do this, and we can have these callbacks to the movie, but at the end of the first season, we need to be running into these bad guys or something like that. You know, it's like, how do you have those guys come up and fit to the stories where, you know, and that's Lethal Weapon being the reboot basically, instead of, and I guess they could just reboot it and say those guys never happen, or just make it all the way in between, not have it connected to the movies themselves. Where, you know, in the other side, you have shows like Limitless and Minority Report that are actual sequels to the movies, and basically carrying on exactly what had happened in the movies and carrying them on. So now they get to tell a whole different story going forward.
Right.
Um,
Well, with
which
Lethal Weapon, it's a crime drama. So at that point, it just becomes a police procedural
right,
with the characters from the movie to give it a new flavor. Maybe I'll get tired of it and get old. Maybe I won't. You know, what was the other one you just mentioned?
Minority Report and
Minority.
Limitless.
Yeah, Limitless. Kind of the same thing. They can do an episodic
Yeah,
deal. Just happens to be the flavor that was in the movie. You know, will
and
we get tired of it? Will it get old? Maybe.
I don't know. Apparently it did because they canceled the show, but I
Yeah,
really liked
exactly.
it. I enjoyed it, and I think I enjoyed it because of the main character. Like, he was Brian. He was personable. He was like, I enjoyed watching him. I enjoyed his crazy antics that he did, and just kind of the, you know, Limitless was the idea that it opened up your brain and you could see different patterns and see things, and basically have full capacity, full functioning of your brain. And so he was already quirky when he wasn't on this drug, and then when he took the drug, he was all kinds of crazy. Um, so it was kooky fun, on top of a police procedural type investigative type thing. So I enjoyed it a lot. But so, you know, I was kind of curious. I'm interested to see what, I kind of want to see Emerald City. It's on my list of things to check out once it gets a little farther in. Um, Training Day, I'm not so interested in because I, I kind of feel like I already know what that movie's going to be about. You know, a rookie cop coming in and basically either running into corrupt cops or dealing with corrupt cops, and I don't really,
Right.
I don't really need to get back into that again. Um, but Snatch is one that I really want to see what they do with it. I enjoy the hell out of that movie, but I have no idea how they're gonna pull this off, and I'll be really curious. I'm really curious what's gonna happen.
I am too. And since Crackle is completely free, I'll give it a try.
Yeah.
I'll see what this Snatch is all about. That didn't sound right, but I'll see what the show's like. Because the movie, honestly, to me was kind of a one and done kind of thing.
Yeah.
It worked because of the quirks,
Right.
because you couldn't understand Brad Pitt, because you couldn't,
Yeah.
there was just things going on, and when it ended, you're like, it was kind of like the movie Layer Cake, and when it's all over with, you're like, kind of rewarding
That's
at the end, and then you're done.
yeah.
So I'll be curious to see how the TV show works out.
Yeah. We'll have to give it a shot. It's supposed to come out this year sometime. I don't know when.
March 16th.
Did they give it a date now? March
March
16th?
16th.
There you go. So I'll have to put that on the list. March 16th, that's 2 months from today. Exactly, 2 months from today. So,
Oh yeah, oh yeah.
look at that. Timing is everything. So, with this idea of TV show sequels, do you have one that's your favorite, or one that you're like, no, this is exactly how it works, and this is how they should do it every time?
No, I don't know if it's that formulaic. Um, I I don't want to spoil it for you, but I gave Emerald City a try.
Yeah.
Wasn't for me. Wasn't for me. but I see the possibilities there.
Yeah. It
Maybe
looks
they.
really dark.
It does look pretty dark, and I think it's one of those shows that would benefit from being like a Netflix only
Yeah.
or an HBO show.
Yeah, cuz
But
it's on public television, isn't it? And on CBS or ABC or something.
yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
It's fine. It's just I don't know. It didn't scratch me where I itch. I guess is the best way to put it.
Right.
Um, like I said, I'm enjoying Lethal Weapon quite a bit. Uh, I
Did you,
don't think I've seen. I didn't watch Fargo. Oh, Ash versus Evil Dead is freaking
Oh,
awesome.
yes. Yeah.
Ash
I,
versus Evil Dead. I just love it, and it's just like the movie with it's it's blood everywhere. Yeah,
yeah.
whatever budget is on fake blood, it's probably more than they're paying Bruce Campbell. There's a lot of blood in this thing,
Yeah.
and it's on Stars, so they can get away with all the cussing and everything else, and so it's just like the movie, but it's brilliant. It's takes place 30 years later, so Bruce Campbell is still Ash,
Yeah.
but 30 years older and exactly what you'd expect him to be, which is a guy living in the past and hasn't really done with his life, and yeah, so so between Lethal Weapon and Ash vs. Evil Dead, they work.
Right.
I heard Fargo was good, but I haven't seen it. You liked Limitless, but it got canceled.
Right.
Um, I wasn't a big fan of Emerald City. I'll be curious to see what you think.
Yeah, it's on my list. I will say, did you ever watch Stargate SG-1?
I did.
Because that was one that now, and they say like that's one of those where sometimes I think they can take an idea that's in the movie and just go farther with it in a TV show, um, because they have more time to tell a story. You're not limited to a 2 hour, an hour and a half to 2 hours to tell a story. You can tell a story over an entire season, and I thought that actually worked really well. I love Stargate. I actually own all 10 seasons.
Well,
It's
That's how I saw SG1. Is you loaned me your
Oh, that's
DVD.
right. That is
Yes.
right. I was looking to see where. Oh, here.
Yep, that's it.
That would be the one. It's backwards. I need to figure out how to fix that on my video so stuff's not backwards. But yeah, I love that stuff. I think that one was excellent. I think that was really well done. Another one that as I was flipping through here on this list, that I was like, ooh, this is one that I need to check out because I keep being told that it is really good, and it's an animated thing. It's Star Wars Clone Wars, the animated TV series, and Star Wars Rebels. I have heard that these animated shows are actually really good and actually fit into the Star Wars universe. Um, and it says here that the Clone Wars and Rebels series are considered to be canon, as far as the story is concerned. And so, like, I've just heard as an animated show that they are good for, like, they're okay for kids to watch. They're not anything ridiculous, but they tell such a really good story, and I like a good animated story. So um, I kind of want. I actually have some of them, but I haven't had a chance to watch them yet. And I think Clone Wars might be on Netflix, or it
It
was at
was a
one.
time. I can't remember if it still is. I watched I think the first run of Clone Wars
Yeah,
and I liked it quite a bit.
no.
But I was too busy being disappointed by British TV to finish watching it. So
Well, and I think that's one that I need to get. I just need to get them all, have them on the server, and then be able to tell the kids, hey, they're here, and I bet you we'll end up watching them because they'll probably
Yeah,
end up
it
enjoying
says
them.
all 6 seasons are on Netflix.
Oh, there we go. So maybe I just need to go add it to the queue on Netflix and tell them, hey, this stuff's here. Want to watch this? Um, so
And when
we'll
you say you want to watch this, it really is not a question, is it?
not usually. I've kind of gotten to the point now where it's like if I find something I want to watch and they want to watch TV, it's like, hey, well, this is what I'm gonna watch. It's okay for you to watch. So if you want to watch it, we're gonna sit here and watch it because
And you're going
I
to be
want to watch it.
quiet while we're watching it.
Yeah. Now, and this was I tried to be very specific with this and not let this flip to the TV show or movies that are based off of TV shows because I feel like that's a way longer list, and it was easier for me to pick out the shit that has come out of those. The one that pops to my head most egregiously is the well, I'd say the Transformers movies, but I refuse to acknowledge those as existing. But the Avatar: The Last Airbender, that movie was crap compared to the TV show that was out there. So
Yeah, that's what I hear.
you
I
should
saw
check out the
I
TV
haven't seen
show.
the TV show.
You should check out the TV show. I have it if you need it. So that's I mean that's just it's amazing. It's amazing writing, really good storytelling. You have to remember as you're watching it though that it is written for kids, and so there's some episodes where it's like your standard PSA children's episode where it's like,
Okay.
"Oh, be a good person, don't be an asshole."
Stay in school.
Yeah. You have to work hard to get better. There's a few episodes where you're just like, okay, that was annoying. Next episode. But overall, the story is really good. So,
Sweet.
um,
I'll have to check it out.
all right. Well, I think that works for us. We've kind of decided that there's TV shows that work, spinning off of movies, and some that don't. But we're not against the idea as long as they do it right. Pick the right stuff, and don't cancel the good stuff.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So, anything else you want to throw out there, Kip, before we close this bad boy out?
Well, I just want to point out to anybody who's listening to me that knows me personally, I told you the Chiefs were going to lose in the first round of the playoffs. Nobody listened to me.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. No, I listened to you. I just hoped that you would be wrong. So,
Smoke and mirrors. Smoke and mirrors
yeah.
was their whole
Yeah.
season.
How about your Seattle Seahawks there?
Oh, they were not good this year.
They were a dumpster fire.
Good enough to make the playoffs, but
Yeah, but coming out of that division, how hard is it to? I mean, that division has put
exactly
somebody at 8-8 in the playoffs almost every year.
right. They were basically the NFC equivalent to the Houston Texans making the playoffs.
Yeah, but the
And
Houston Texans actually had 10 wins.
I don't know how the hell they pulled that off. But,
Me either. But yeah, I've officially decided that the NFL football, I now hate the AFC in the playoffs. So I'm going to be rooting for an NFC team. I don't even care which one it is. Packers or Falcons, either one of them. I hope they win the Super Bowl because I
well,
hate the Steelers and I hate the Patriots, both of those teams. So I'm sorry, all you fans of Steelers and Patriots that are out there. I do not like your teams.
oh, my
So
wife is giddy because she's a huge Steelers fan. She's got her terrible towel and everything. So,
yeah, I knew there was something wrong with her.
yeah, well, yeah, that's just one of the things.
All right, everybody, we're going to wrap this one up here. Go check out our blog at geekvice.blogspot.com. Stay tuned to there. We're hoping to get some new stuff up there, a nice little review from our good friend. And you can follow us on Facebook at facebook.com/geekvice. And follow us on Twitter, that man over there, at Kip Killigan. And myself at Geekvice. You can also go subscribe to our YouTube channel at tiny.cc/geekvice. And of course, you can always email us at geekvice@gmail.com. Email us with your thoughts on TV shows that were based off of movies that ended up being good. We can add them to our list of things we need to watch. So let us know what your thoughts are. Also, be sure to comment on this video, like this video, like and comment on us on iTunes. Let's get some of that stuff boosted, and go vote in our straw poll. Go check the descriptions down below. And thanks for listening to our ramblings, and we will see you next week.
Later.
This podcast is part of the Podcast Arcade Network.